Hello wonderful guys, girls, everyone of YouTube, how are we all doing today? I've got another video coming up, and this is again for another premium tank, which I have had for a while, but I haven't actually done a proper video of it, and recently got buffed, and to be honest, it definitely deserves its own video. We're looking at the STA-2, which is the tier 8 premium matchmaking. Already get my senses tingling. Medium tank from the Japanese line. One of the first things we're going to be doing is to have a look at the differences. It's very similar to the Panther 88 video in terms of how well it plays versus the tank, which you probably already have or can get without spending any money, and that is of course the STA-1. Another tier 8 medium tank along the line, which I do want myself to go down eventually. I will get there. The STA-3 package is the one with the gun in particular. The differences between this and the STA-2, which I'll show you on the screen with little like icons, so you'll see the STA details on the right and the STA-1 on the left. The gun, the differences being is the rate of fire on the standard is 7.32, on the STA-2 it's 8.44, but as a trade-off you get a better aim time of 2.1 over 2.3. Aside from the penetrations and damage being more or less exactly the same, as you can see, there's not much difference to go between the two. The other one being on the STA-3 is you can see the rate of fire will go to 8, the aim time stays the same, but the accuracy is 0.36. So overall, I would quite happily take an aim time buff over rate of fire. This is going to be aimed in time, and the way you're meant to play the tank, it will come into its own. So now we actually move on to the tank itself. Its armor is a nice way of placing it is not ideal. It's certainly not a tank you want to be taking into the front lines, not one you want to be brawling with. You are likely to get penned from every conceivable angle. There's a lot of spots on top of the tank, your upper front plate and lower front plate are just negligible, the size of the tanks. Obviously the rear, pretty much the same with any tank to be honest, and including the turret as well, not something you really want to be doing in going forward. Try and stay back. This tank has fantastic gun depression. If I have the opportunity to be able to show you that and how it works in game, all well and good, but yes, by all means do not take it anywhere near the front lines whereby you're going to be brawling with tanks. This will be the case in tier 9s when you've got like E75s, M103s, tanks with a lot of armor. What you want to be doing is to use that high penetration from your premium rounds to go through people. This tank has unreal amounts. 275 is about the same as what you'll get, but it can go up to 344. What? That's just amazing. So reserve that for tanks with armor. Your standard armor AP rounds will go through most tanks. Use the heat for later on. You'll have a field day with it. It is phenomenal. The equipment is the standard that I run on all the tanks, so you've got your medium tank gun rammer and your improved vents. I want to make sure the aim time and the reloads are all buffed with the GLD, and then just the vents in the middle for everything included. The buff was a recent speed one, so we go up to 55 kph. Again, really useful when you want to get snappy, go into the place where you want to be. Up a hill, down a hill, use that gun depression behind the wall. You want to go hull down, you can do. Just remember that you are not going to be bouncing much of it, so just allow your team to go forward and take all the hits. You try and smelt them as best you can. Use the rate of fire, use the damage, use that high explosive anti-tank that will it'll rip through one tank, go through another, It might end up going around all the team, who knows. It's got uber penetration. But without further ado, we're going to take this into a game and we'll see if we can actually get some decent results from it and show you just how well it can play. Not really worth showing you a game where I get slammed by artillery or get absolutely murked by a high explosive anti-tank skill, or just basically removed. I'm sure there's going to be an OI that's just going to turn the corner and fire his big HE shell and just obliterate my tank, but hopefully that won't happen and you'll have a decent game to view. So again, let's have a look and how well we can actually do in this game and show you with a live recording what it is I'm doing and trying to use the tank in its best manner, and fingers crossed we get a map where I can show you that on perfectly. Welcome everyone, and we're playing again. This is I think the third attempt at doing it. I had a nice little trolley tag on driving the game before, but we're on Prokhorovka. Quite a flat map, so not something ideal to show off the gun depression, but we're going to try and make it work. We're going to go forward, we're going to go up into the middle. There's one specific area of the map where I can actually show it off really quite well. Decent view range, so I might actually be able to get some good spots, and the mobility, hopefully, fingers crossed, keeps us away from the artillery, and I may actually get some shots off into the middle up top, depending on how many people go there. Going to make sure again that I can get spotted on this map because I know I can get into cover. The only people like to take shots at me are the artillery, up until the point people start yellowing over the top, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Now, unfortunately, I'm detected by the light tank, which is a T-71 who's gone down. That's okay. So the chaffee actually spots one if he's going to go and suicide scout, which he is, and he spotted one. And he's miles away. So we're just going to move and stay out of artillery range and go back up and see what we can get hits on. It's early on in the game for me to actually do anything useful. A nice little tracking shot on the T-71. Reload, unfortunately, is not going to be enough to be able to get rid of him, and the building's in the way. So what we're just going to do is just keep moving, because I know I will be an artillery target. Maybe the push on the right hand side will work. The heavy tanks were sat back, are going to do a fantastic job of spotting the people on the hill. And we're just going to make sure we try and avoid ourselves getting hit. We're just going to make sure if I continually move, the orangey aspect of artillery should miss me. He says he's about to get slammed. That looked like an artillery shell, but I don't know. Using the camera rating is not something I want to be trying to do. It's certainly not going to be something I'm capable of doing on a regular basis. So what we'll try is we'll get spots on people, we'll shoot them from long range, and we'll dart into cover. Fortunately, again, that's showing you why you don't want to sit still when there's artillery in the game, because they're going to be pummeling you. And as it is, the heavies on the left are moving up. Unfortunately, I'm not showing off the awesome gun depression this tank has. I may have to use another game. If not, we may get some very decent shots to pop along and show. I don't have to be too far forward in order to get some decent shots. The T-71's going back in. I might go up towards the middle. It's going to leave me a bit exposed and not going to provide enough support for the hill. And Mr. T-95B2 is not looking in my direction, so let's aim at the dirt, because why not? And we've got already people going over and across the top. The T-95E2 is not specifically interested in me, which is all good. I think I'll just sit here and take some pot shots, if I can actually get some decent shots, but no I can't, so I'll just pop back. We know one of the artillery is in the corner, so we don't have to worry too much about him. The T-95E2 is sort of in a really bad place for me, and you know what? I'm going to have to risk it in the middle. Hopefully if the T-95E2 does decide to come up, I will have the gun depression available in order to hit him. Of course he'd disappear before he hits me. And that's a lovely attempt at the shot. He's going to have to come over quite far. Unfortunately, the T-95's turret is not particularly amazing. What we will do is just let the aim time go in. Quick snapshot, maybe have him come back, because the reload is going to be something of very good use. Doesn't look to be the T-95-2 is going to come up again. I think he's going to be aiming across into the middle, but we shall see. Is he not? I don't really want to get spotted again, because I know that the people on the left hand side have that shot on me. So we'll just take some pot shots at this T-28 prototype. Fortunately, T-95E2 is going to get pummeled again from that side, so we'll just keep up the fire on the T-28 prototype and continually put shots, maybe have him roll back and do something he doesn't want to do. Hey, that's the one time you'll actually see this tank bounce around. And the T-95E2 is going to have to be removed, but he doesn't have as good reload as what I do, and unfortunately his copula is not, or the machine gun port is not an ideal spot to be aiming in. Now we're going to be leaving the guys in the bottom corner because they still have to come across and they have a lot to actually get past. So we'll leave him as he is there. We'll try and support the push going down here. I don't want to be leaving myself too far open. So we'll try and remove everything that's at the back of this map and support the push going down. So you can see I don't even need to expose all of my tank. I can still shoot him from where I am now. Now the only thing I have to worry about is I am being hit, or not so much hit, being shot at from the middle. A lot of our team have pushed down really quite well, and the Panther 88 is doing a fairly good job of at least keeping people back. There's a GW Panther who concentrating on other people, rightly or wrongly will not know, but again this tank is very good at being able to snapshot when you just aim in a little bit. Like 2.1 aim second time with gun lane drive allows you to do a lot of maneuvers that you wouldn't expect to do at all. What I will try and do as well is I'll get another game in and show you hopefully how gun depression works with this tank. So be wary of that ISU, because that big derpy gun is going to absolutely muller me. And because I know he's roughly up there, That's my guess. I don't need to do anything because this T-54 is going to be nice and come around the corner. I'll stay in this bush here and hopefully it won't go back around. Standard penetration, although the accuracy isn't there. I think that's just me being unable to actually aim a gun properly. So now we'll go over to here. And we'll hopefully not get dirt for about 800 from an ISU. No doubt he'll probably spot me. I'd expect him to still be on the hill, but the mobility is there, the speed is there. There he is again. As it is, he's outspotted by me, which is odd to say the least. Wow, that was an interesting shell. Well, the tanks is having me on here. So let's see how the gun depression will work on this side. Artillery taking a good couple of hits into him, or at least aiming at him, and he looks to be rolling back. Whether he's rolling back facing me or not, I don't know, but if he does charge me, I'll have the ability to go around him, which he sort of is, so I don't particularly mind too much. Unfortunately, he's got himself into a predicament in that Russian tanks do not reverse. So there's an example of how you can circle tanks even though the range between you and the tank is quite far. You just have to be wary of what the tank is. So this was one whereby it was sort of sitting back, taking the snapshots. 85,000 silver is a ridiculous amount considering I only fired AP rounds. Did a fair amount of damage as well. Unfortunately not as much as I wanted to do, but they were still very, very good. And the next game coming up, well, I will try and show you how well the gun depression works because it is so goddamn good. It's definitely worth showing you. So without further ado, let's get the next game on the go. Audio will start when Ensk War, not Ensk, El Haluf War starts. Literally as soon as it does. No more retards. Hashtag make World Tank great again. And we're here on the second game. We're playing on El Haluf War. Thankfully, another tier 8 game, and we're going to hopefully, again, fingers crossed, show off the awesome gun depression that this tank physically has. We've already seen its ability to maneuver, also snapshot as well. We'll get a good couple of shots now, I'm sure of it. But primarily, we're looking to see how well the gun depression elevation will work. Honest to God, this is a very, very good tank for things such as going up on the crest of a hill and poking over the top and just looking down. It does mean you can pretty much engage on any sort of surface, whether you're facing upwards or downwards. You're there, you can do it. Unfortunately, because the mobility is there as well, you have the opportunity of circling should you need to, or moving out of the way if someone decides to YOLO charge their medium and remove a large proportion of their health. So we'll have a good run. Unfortunately, with the game going at the moment, a lot of the team itself have inexplicably decided that they are not interested in playing it properly, so this will cause some problems on our side, especially if a lot of people come around. This can sometimes happen, and a lot of people get fixated on what they want to shoot at, which is usually 1 or 2 tanks, and don't see the overall picture. But we'll get around that and we'll see what kind of a game we can make from this. As you can see, nice little shot into the T95E2, and I managed to avoid the shot after him, and due to my very, very good reload and the guy's inability to get out actually into cover, we're going to be able to take another pot shot, dropping down a good couple of shots, make him think twice, and we'll just try and keep an eye out for any other people that decide to pop up. Fortunately, the Koenig Panzer's probably going to have a good shots or good attempts at him. Quick little peek, nothing seen. Can't really see the heavy on the other side, and we're just at the moment going to have to wait for the team to catch up. M4 behind, that's okay, they can stay where they are. We'll have to see what the T-32 does if he goes around, because I will be able to support. So this is where I can then start using speed to go forward. Got an OI, and let's see about how the gun depression. Oh, so good. Gonna have a quick wait for the Lerva to get around the corner. And when he does, we'll take a quick little pot shot. And lovely, 276. It's nice to see that damage roll again. It's not something that appears on a regular basis. I'm used to seeing like 240 every now and then. T95-2 is removed. The tier 6 is starting to move back, and we're going to get some nice decent shots because the Comet is popping them into the M6, maybe into the T71 as well. Blue is just apparently sat still. that aim time though. What we don't want to do is put ourselves in a position whereby we can be shot at, especially by the T54. Unfortunately, didn't get a decent shot. I thought I'd reloaded it a lot quicker than what I did, but that's okay. No artillery, will leave it as it is. It's unlikely that he'll come back around the corner. The Koenig Panzer going in front. If he does, I'll still be able to get a decent shot. Come on, where are we going? Where are we going? I don't think I'll be able to see the T-71. Ideally, I don't want to. I'm just trying to figure out where they're going. Still a lot of people camping on base. Lower the T-29. There's a lot of people on both sets of teams who've decided to sit still, which again doesn't make me want to go forward. I'm going to see about going up to that part and aiming upwards. Oh, here comes the Lerva. So we'll just wait for him to pop up. T-32's come along to help, so we'll just move down to this side and give him 2 avenues of attack and flanking. Fortunately, he's decided to YOLO charge him with absolutely no health whatsoever, which is not good at all. And I can still pen your armor from that plate. Again, this is not an ideal scenario at the moment because our team has been less than useful is a nice way of placing it, so we're going to have to use the mobility and the speed of the tank to get back towards our team. At the moment, the A44 decided to kill himself. The T-32 is nigh on dead. There's too many tanks and that Lerva is still around the corner, so yeah, we'll leave this as it is and we'll go back. We'll try and get some cover. But this will be another way of proving that it's a very simple and easy thing to do is play World of Tanks, and somehow it's still lost on a lot of people. For whatever reason, the Lerva has decided to go YOLO because that's obviously the best thing you can do at this moment in time, since you've done nothing the entire game. As to what we can actually aim at or shoot, let's see if we can get the SU. Try and get the elevation up there. Sorry, it's probably dead before I've shot him, but that's all good. And we're going to somehow bring this game back. I'm sure of it. I am sure of it. We will bring this game back. Thankfully the Lerva's there, but there is another one with full health. Oh, god damn it. Oh, that's okay, it's only M4. Just a decent amount of health he's still got, and there's still some people across on the other side. Let's see if I can get over here. Of course, 2 avenues of attack, so we can actually get some side shots onto people. So this hasn't been an ideal situation to show off the gun depression, but it shows off other sides of things. So there's the Lerva being killed because reasons. They're about using the ROF. Nice little hit. Would have liked to like a larger damage roll, but that's okay. So you can see it's very easy to pen, even though the angle of the tank, I think because I'm pointing downwards, it overmatched. But that's okay. We'll keep putting shots into him. If he's still going to keep on moving, then he's unlikely to hit us. And we'll just keep pummeling him. As you can see, he's unlikely to have a decent attempt. Now the unfortunate nature is that the Lerva, who's on a lot of health, is going to consistently look in my direction. And there's nothing much we can do. But this is an example of a, for use of a better term, piss poor team. Genuinely terrible. There's no other words to describe it. This team has been useless. Shit. Terrible. This is a problem that's caused by many people who play this game, is that they don't know what they're doing. And to be honest, 92,000 silver, if we'll take this game as an example whereby you can do terrible in terms of lose the game and your team could be the main cause of it. I mean, let's look at the fact that people can't get over 1,000 damage in tier 8 tanks and other ones in particular because they have refused point blank to go forward. Yes, you can be in tier 6 tanks, but even in this game you can still be somewhat of use even at that low tier. Look at the Comet, for example, even though he's not done particularly amazing compared to other people of similar tiers on the other team, but that's only because they won. He still did quite good overall. But then you look at the people who've got 0 and not much input into the actual game because of how much time was spent shooting at tanks that didn't need to be aimed at. So overall, even though the game went kind of poor, the amount of damage I was able to do and using the gun depression and showed off the armor itself is not always ideal. aiming down the hill, the T29 was still able to pen my armour, possibly because of overdraft, or the way in which it was looking to be more flat. I did have my tank slightly to the side, so it's kind of 50-50, so to speak, of whether it would actually go through, but this tank is very susceptible for that, so you just have to be careful on what's happening. The last part is 92,000 silver, not something I'm going to complain about. So, if you did like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you beautiful people later.